Wow.
Welcome to Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc, the wildest mixed tag team in podcasting where the kayfabe drops and the chaos takes over. Let's ring the damn bell.
Headlock tight, heels on the prowl, dropping elbows, hearing growl, feel the foul. No script here, just real, no bluff. Kayfabe crack, now the dirt gets rough. Headlocks, heels, havoc in the zone. Step in the ring, chaos at your home. No filters, no mask, just raw bare tone. Wrestling unscripted, we on the throne. Title belts, mic checks, crowd going crazy. Drop truth bombs, leaving lines feeling hazy. Beyond the kayfabe, past the charade, where legends are born and stories get made. Headlock, stop it, who's hitting the mat? Welcome to the Havoc where the real talk's at. Tune in, step through, leave the fake at the door. Headlocks, heels, Havoc, now hear the roar.
Welcome to the Havoc Zone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am one half of the greatest tag team in the wrestling podcast business, the legend J-Mac. It's me, it's that Legend. And of course, with me as always is everybody's favorite Uncle Slam.
What's up, family? Welcome to the People's Show.
There you go. And again, back as we're gonna have to start putting him as guest starring.
Yeah.
The bad guy JD from Mayhem Media. Welcome him.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. As you can see, I'm going shirtless tonight. It's late here in Pennsylvania, and it's also hot. It was over 100 degrees again today, and we have the air on, but it's still, it's barely just taking the edge off. So you guys wanted me on, and I said, well, I'm shirtless. And you said, well, I don't care. And I said, well, then I'm here.
JD's bringing the sex appeal tonight.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
I wanted to show you. Plus, I wanted to show you, too, what a physique is supposed to look like here. You know what I'm saying? So and then wheelchair or not, I got muscle. I got some mass. All right.
So what he'd like to have right now is for all you fat, ugly, out of shape Pennsylvania pigs, keep the noise down while he takes his shirt off and shows the ladies what a real sexy man looks like.
Yeah.
Hit the music.
Yeah. If only we could play Rick Rude's music right now. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. If I'd have known we were going to go that direction, I'd have had it.
I know. Yeah.
Didn't
even think about it, dude. Not until you started going there, and I realized where you were going with it.
All you need is a real good saxophone, real slow one. Don't even have to be copyright infringement. But no, guys, how's everybody doing? Happy 4th of July. No, it's not 4th of July yet. It will be tomorrow when this releases. We are live right now. Everybody go follow, like, share, subscribe, do all the things, hit all the buttons, and, put all them subscription buttons in a headlock and, do the things we need you to do. Go over to Mayhem Media, hit all them subscribes and buttons and all them things too, the follows and likes and shares and, lions and tigers and bears, get it all in and, help us out. That way we can keep bringing you all the great content from us at Headlocks and them at Mayhem. How's everybody's week been? Everybody got any big plans for the 4th of July? I got people playing, commando out back right now. I scared the hell out of me. I thought my mom fell, so I had to run to her. I got headphones in, guys. I'm legally deaf, and then the headphones, all I felt was the shake of the house. I thought, oh shit, she's dead. And
thought you're under attack.
She's not. She's not.
Right, good. I have the same issue. Like, I heard a bunch of noise out back. I didn't know if it was raining or what, and then I figured out that it was a lot of fireworks going off back. So I'm dealing with the same situation out back. I'm basically like under attack.
Yes.
I actually got to see the fireworks show here in Mechanicsburg. They do it at a park that's probably maybe a mile and a half from me, but I have to go down the end of the road and stand in the middle of the street. It's not a public street. It's like an apartment street. So I'm not like standing in traffic or anything, but I did have to go out in the middle of the road, but I was able to see a fireworks show just a couple days ago.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Wasn't bad. It was all right. So yeah. For this weekend, I'm not doing nothing but trying to stay cool, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what most Americans, I think, are probably doing right now. But I want to give a quick shout out to my daughter Maya. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, number 19. Just want to give that
Sweet.
to her real quick.
How old
Love
is she?
you. She's
Happy,
19.
19.
awesome. Happy birthday, Maya.
Old man.
Yep.
Lord God, it's hard to believe you're that old, girly.
No,
I
I'm probably
know.
older than you.
That's
Sam.
like my
Good
third
Lord.
adult.
How
Ain't
old
Yeah.
are
that
you?
crazy?
Sam?
Yeah.
You
Only
tied
got one
me in
more.
adults.
Yep.
Can
You
I
got
ask how
one
old you
more.
are, Slim?
What'd you say?
Can I ask how old you are?
I am 47.
Okay, so I'm just a little behind you.
Yeah. My oldest one is 23,
Hot damn.
and then I got a 21, of course 19, and then my youngest is 16.
Yep.
All right. Good for you, man.
But definitely happy 19th birthday, Maya.
Happy birthday. Hey, and since we're doing birthday shout outs, my nephew's turning 11 in a couple days, July 11th.
Okay. Happy birthday. Shout out to him.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, people who have tuned into the show have likely seen him at least once or twice sneaking into an episode or sneaking onto an episode. I've actually caught him. He has his own device and stuff, and watches YouTube or whatever. I've actually caught him a couple times watching my show. Yeah, it's
dope.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, well, since we're doing birthday shout outs, I guess I'll do mine. My son, the Jet, what's his name? Jedi Theorist.
You don't know your son's name?
Well, no, I was trying to
His
think
handle.
of his handle on online where he's starting to wanting to become a podcaster and stuff too. But Jedi Theorist's son, my grandson, River, I'm gonna shout out a birthday to him tomorrow. He's my little Independence baby.
No kidding. Tomorrow.
Yes, sir. He was
Oh, well, I
born.
will have to make sure I wish him a happy birthday. He, of course, and you gave me a great segue with that. He, of course, is my current co-host at the moment for our show After the Dragon, which follows HBO's House of the Dragon.
There you go.
And it comes on Sunday afternoons. We go live, so make sure you check that out. He has been your kid, dude. I'm gonna give you some pop feel good moment here just for a second, dude. He has killed it. He did not have to contribute anything. You know what I mean? Like more than just a conversation, right? By saying, come on. All you had to do is be able to contribute a conversation, right? He has put in some mad work in terms of the research he's done into the Game of Thrones universe, man. So he's highly impressed me. He's brought stuff that I didn't think, I thought, like at best, because he wasn't a fan. He's just starting to get into it now. So, but he's really been catching up on episodes and offering a lot of stuff. So he's been great to have, for me to have. I was so glad he wanted to do After the Dragon with me, so I didn't have to do it a solo episode.
Oh, I'm glad he's worked out for you. He's a good kid. I ain't bragging because they're my kids, and Uncle Slam knows. I know he wouldn't be bragging if he was talking about his. That's one thing I'm very proud of. Is every one of my kids are respectable. They don't do anything stupid. You know what I'm saying? They're just out there trying to. Uncle Slams ain't got families of their own yet. But one day they will. But you can already tell that they've taught their kids to set the stage for when you do, to be able to take care of them, and all that good stuff. You can just see it in certain kids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his kids, my kids. I can't say anything about any of them, man. They're all good kids. They're doing what they need to do, and shout out to all the birthdays and all the kids, and yeah. The We Are the World moment is officially over for this show. No, I'm just joking. Happy birthday to them all, though, for real. All righty, getting into our first little topic of the day. Like I said, we're going to narrow this down a little bit now. First topic, Ken Patera. I did not know he was an Intercontinental Champion. It may have been like back in the earlier 80s, like after Pat Patterson, that I just, maybe at the time I didn't see it. I don't know. But I'm going to have to look it up. But anyways, the Cauliflower Alley Club, everyone here at the Cauliflower Alley Club would like to extend our best wishes and prayers to the legendary Ken Patera, who recently suffered a fall resulting in a broken neck. So he broke his C1 while he was working out and everything. I just wanted to shout out, Ken Patera, and
I don't know him, but that's Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know
see,
him.
that's exactly what I was getting ready to say, JD. I was like, I don't think I heard him, but
I
definitely
guarantee you
makes
do
sense.
know who Ken Patera is.
No,
You talking
not
about
me.
another name?
Wait a minute, wait a minute,
Slam?
wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me help you out a little bit. See, that's good. It gave us a little talking point about this picture, other than just talk about it, moving on, wishing him well wishes. Very first or second around that time, SummerSlam. No,
But
not
see,
SummerSlam, not SummerSlam. Survivor Series.
my thing was is that I'm not a
I know,
WWE
I know, I
fan,
know.
so
But
I
so the very first or second Survivor Series, he was on Hulk Hogan's team. He was making his comeback. He was the Olympic guy with the white dude afro, brown afro, and the blue onesie on. If you go back and look, I guarantee you it'll jog your memory, and you'll be like, "Oh, okay, him." You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Look up Ken Patera Survivor Series, and I guarantee you'll see something, and it'll jog your memory of who he was. He didn't stick around long in his second run, but yeah, that's Ken Patera. He looks a lot different now that he's older. Like if I did never, yeah, I would. If I didn't know this was Ken Patera, I wouldn't have been able to pick him out as Ken Patera because he didn't have a beard back then and stuff like that. He was the one who supposedly broke Bobby Heenan's neck when he put Bobby Heenan in he put him in a belt and was slinging him across the ring.
I don't recall that either.
Oh, see,
I see the guy, but yeah, he don't really ring a whole bunch of bells. But still sad that
right, right,
that
right.
happened. Like I said.
Don't want him hurt or nothing just
Yeah,
because he don't ring bell. Don't.
Yeah,
yeah,
I hope you're hurt. I don't know who you are.
no,
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 that's he's
no,
definitely not saying that. But no,
no.
yeah. Well wishes to Kim Patera and everything. I just wanted to bring it up and
yeah.
everything. I hate to hear it because I think it was like it said it was his C1 vertebrae that he broke. It just sucks because that's what happened to Dennis Condrey. You know, Dennis Condrey fell and broke his neck and couldn't move for like 8 hours while his wife was at work, and ended up dying and everything. It just sucks. I'm glad he's okay though. Prayers, well wishes. All right, got a little story about Marty Jannetty here.
Okay.
Let's see. Just a few minutes ago, Marty Jannetty shared an update from his. I'll cut it off. It's my fault. I think it's rehabilitation. Cauliflower Alley for standing. He wanted to thank the Cauliflower Alley Club for standing beside him following his recent amputation. Marty wrote, "Without their help, I don't think I would have gotten through this very tough time in my life. It's a reminder what the Cauliflower Alley Club quietly done for decades. While fans often know the organization for its annual reunion and awards, the CAC also provides assistance to members of the wrestling community facing serious medical and financial hardships. For many, it's been a lifeline during some of the most difficult moments of their lives. Seeing Marty already working with a prosthetic is encouraging. Recovering won't be easy, but every step forward is one worth celebrating. We wish Marty continued strength through his rehabilitation and applaud the CAC for continuing to support the men and women who've helped build professional wrestling. His colleague shows Marty already working this collage. Lord, shows Marty already working in therapy. It also features a picture of him holding his granddaughter Stella, as well as him and Shawn Michaels' first ever publicity photo together. We are all thinking of you, Marty, praying for your recovery. I think that's great. That's pretty cool that, that one, I'm glad he's doing great. I hate that he had to get his leg amputated because of the fact that he gave to the business, the way he did, and still kept trying to give to the business on a bad wheel. But I'm also glad to see the Cauliflower Alley. I keep saying hour. The Cauliflower Alley Club standing up and helping these guys, throughout their, financial, medical, whatever the needs that they got. Guys, we'll start with JD. JD, what do you think about this?
He's not the first wrestler to have lost his leg. Buff just lost his leg not
Yeah,
too
yeah.
long ago too. So, yeah, I mean that's sad. It's definitely sad. I don't like nobody wants to see that happen, but at least he's alive. He still looks reasonably
Yes.
healthy. So that's something positive. Hopefully his recovery doesn't take too long. Tell you what, man, with what I've seen, I watch the Special Olympics and stuff when they come around every 2 years, right? So some of the stuff that they've done with prosthetics is just insane.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's well. You got to stop and think. Look at Kerry Von Erich. Kerry Von Erich learned to wrestle on a prosthetic leg.
Oh
You
wow,
know what I
yep.
mean? So I mean, and I'm not saying that Marty's going to go out here and learn how to wrestle on a prosthetic leg. He
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't know.
need to.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's not the point. The point is that if Kerry can go out there at a young age and learn how to wrestle on one, then I'm glad to see that Marty got one and is going to be healthy, because I know that ankle was causing all kinds of problems and could have ended up causing even more issues in the future as far as like infections and stuff like that. So it's like I'm glad to see that he had the opportunity to just get his health in line first.
yeah,
Uncle
absolutely.
Slam, what do you think?
Obviously, like it's just sad that he had. It's sad that he had to get his foot, like amputated to start with. I'm
Marty
glad.
Jannetty, Uncle Slam's favorite rocker.
Yeah. Um, I'm glad that he's getting help, and he's getting better, and he's getting rehab. The only weird thing that kind of bothers me is that I'm glad that there is a group like the Cauliflower, but it's a shame that wrestling doesn't have something on its own. I'm not saying it has to be a union, but some type of retirement to where at least they would pay for or pay a portion of,
Well,
like medical bills because of what's happened or whatever. I
um,
don't know if it's possible. I mean, there's a lot of people that's been in it, and obviously the way it's structured, it's probably not going to happen. Now, I'm glad things are better now as far as when it comes to getting, treatment and whatever. But it just kind of sucks that he has to go outside to be able to do that. That the WWE doesn't have something set up in place for, say, retired wrestlers or people like that, or legends or whatever you want to call it. That's my
well,
only take on it and stuff. I just feel like maybe they could have done more instead of him have to, like depend on somebody else.
I think anyone under a Legends contract, they do cover like medical costs as they
Do
age
they?
and get older and stuff. Yeah, I think they do. And AEW has actually helped a couple of older wrestlers out when they've had surgeries and stuff too.
Okay. Yeah.
What I want to say to that in response to you, Slam, is that these guys, Marty Jannetty, he's one of the last of that generation of that
Mhm.
era of wrestlers before it got into the mainstream and stuff. And what we're seeing that I think if anything, they're showcasing why exactly what you're saying, Slam. They're showcasing with their own lives and their own limbs why wrestlers need to have a long-term plan. Back in the day, I don't care how popular the Rockers were. How much money did he actually make in his career compared to someone who's at the same level nowadays, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So the money that they make nowadays, I think wrestlers should be keeping some of their money or whatever for insurance or for
Mhm.
making sure that they're taken care of when they end up in this situation, right? But I think it shows the companies too, like there should be something in place because if you jump from WWE to AEW or whatever, like there's no guarantee, there's no, like you said, there's no overlying thing that's going to take care of a wrestler
Yeah.
if he's not under contract at that time. Then there's
Is there
really nothing. Then there's unless charity is the only thing that they'll have.
is there any like financial planning that the WWE gives their people, or like any other wrestling organization, where they sit down and say, "Hey, you're going to make this amount of money.
I
You
don't know.
know, maybe
I'm
you
not
should do
sure.
this with it. Like this. I mean, this is the breakdown, like how much you're going to get every week. Blah blah blah."
I think they
Or
should, because I know like the
Yeah.
NBA does that and the NFL does that with
or
Yeah.
do they just hand
rookies
them
and
a big
stuff.
check and be like, okay, this is your
That's
check, you figure it out.
But I mean, at the end of the day, even if you send them through a class like that, they've got to be responsible enough
Well,
to do it.
yeah, I mean, bottom line, like it all ends up
Yeah.
on them, you know. I mean, like to deal with your own finances and stuff.
But I
But
yeah.
mean, but I see what JD's saying. The opportunity to handle your own, insurance and stuff today is more is the opportunity is there with the
yeah,
monies that are made.
yeah,
So let
I
me
agree.
ask you this: in saying that, do you all think that like Ventura was right for trying to organize a union? I know you're really pro union, Uncle Slam.
Yeah, yeah, because I've
But I
been a
mean,
union
I
anyway.
honestly and
So
truthfully, there's certain businesses
I'm
or things like that that I don't think need unions. But then there are some that I definitely think they 100% need them
I
because
agree.
the play, like you go to things like the NFL, the music industry needs a union so that way these young kids aren't being
That shit will never
taken
happen. You know
advantage.
that.
Right. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's certain things for protections against certain people that we do need in place, and then there's certain things that a union would be too much. Do we think that a union in wrestling would be too much or just right? Uncle Slam, I'll let you go first.
I mean, of course, I'm always going to be more pro union, but given that things aren't like they used to be and conditions are better as far as travel, money, health, and stuff like that. You know, they don't work as much as they used to. I mean, some people still do grind a lot, but you know, of course, the big stars don't. I'm probably not the best person to ask on that. Like I said, because like I said, I am going to be biased, but this is something that I would say a wrestler would definitely be more qualified because I'm not in it. But I'm kind of split on this right now. Like I said, because I know conditions have got a lot better than they were. So I
Or
don't
do
think
you
it's
think a union makes more sense back then than it does now?
definitely more back then than now, whatever.
Okay.
Because you know, like Vince ran shit with an iron fist. Now I think shit's more like corporate, where everything's done, you know, a certain way, you know, because they don't want any backlash. They don't want to get sued. They don't want no shit like that. So everything, they try to dot their I's and cover their T's and all that type shit. Um, but it might be a little more fair now. Like I said, I, I know conditions aren't, you know, because back in the day, like if you didn't work, then you didn't eat. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like there wasn't a lot of people that had guaranteed contracts. So I mean, that made people do shit that maybe they wouldn't. That was probably not in their best interest as far as working or wrestling, because you know, like you need money. You know, you got a family at home, and like you ain't got time to take a day off.
Yeah.
So I mean, a different time than it is now. So maybe you don't need one for wrestling like you did before, when you know you didn't have all those safeguards that you do now.
Okay, I can see that. JD?
well, Uncle Slam. We can have a real back and forth moment here if we want here. I am not for unions. I'm not so much for unions. I worked for a company that had a union that took money out of my check. Coincidentally, if I chose not to be a part of the union, I still had to lose that money out of my check. So that right there, I wasn't happy with because the union didn't do nothing for me at that company. Didn't do nothing. It did not help me at the slightest to be part of a union and to lose that money out of my check every week. Uh, so that's my personal experience with a union. I'm also not for. I understand why people like unions. You band together so that you can raise working conditions or whatever. And I don't think you need to come together to make like a union in the traditional sense. I think back then they needed something. I think if the wrestlers got together and said, "Listen, these are some of the standards that we want," then maybe it might have helped a few more of them. On the other hand, back in the day, they could have said, "Well, we'll just get new guys and just replace you. Just you're done then." and just blackballed them, right? Because wrestling is a lot like the indies now. I think the indies have an issue where maybe some of those wrestlers need some kind of voice or some kind of representation against the promoters. That's where I would say in today's world, the indies is where it's questionable at the moment, right? The problem though is with making a union is usually they don't go away. And if you had a union today for WWE and AEW or whatever else was out there, wrestlers likely wouldn't be making the money they are now. A lot of it would still be getting taken out of their checks as union dues and a whole bunch of other stuff. I think giving them the freedom, because then they don't get to pick their insurance plan. If they're through a union and then insurance is one of the things they demand, it goes through the union. Then at that point, people are selecting the plan that you have access to. So today, I think in pro wrestling, it doesn't make sense because I think the money they make gives them the freedom to choose what they want to do. Now, whether a wrestler chooses to buy health insurance or not, that's on them, right? Like you can't govern people's decisions. So it has to come down to personal responsibility. But in the indies, man, I see some indie, not every indie. I mean, we work a lot with indie companies. There's a lot of great ones out there. Okay. There are a lot of great ones out there. But we all see the occasional, one where someone's not getting paid or someone gets hurt in a real bad way or something like that. And what do? You're an indie wrestler. If you want the work, you got to do what you can. And if you don't get paid, you still, you don't get paid. So in the indies, I could see how maybe needs to be some kind of governing body, or maybe the state athletic boards need to pay a little more attention to the professional wrestling. But I think even if you start unions like on an indie circuit or in a way that affects the independent wrestling companies, I think you're going to see a lot of them fold and not stay operating at all. And I also think you'll make it harder for them to be able to leave those companies and make it to the bigger companies if they get the opportunities. So I think overall the unions is not a good idea, but I understand the point of view of why you think you need one, because you need to have a voice. And you want to raise money or standards of your working conditions and stuff like that. I think there's other ways to go about it than forming a union.
I said,
we'll disagree on that. Obviously, I'm pro unions. I usually see. I feel like normally when people band together, you could get more money than you would if company dictate, because company controls a lot of that. But I agree with you that it's probably not necessary now because of the conditions. Indies, I could see why you would need it, because the indies are kind of like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, they are.
People do a lot of shit that, they do whatever they want. We'll just go ahead and say it. Like when you run your own company, especially if, when a lot of shit's not regulated, you know what I'm saying? You do whatever. So I agree on probably that, but implementing that would probably be just too crazy because there are too many companies. There's just, in Kentucky alone, I guarantee you over 50 promotions or something like that. Probably more.
Really?
Probably easily.
Wow.
From bigger, like the biggest being OVW, and then
I'm not talking about just regular ones. I'm talking about you got your little midgets, you got your little
right.
carny ones that travel and stuff like coming out of town type stuff. So, and this county fair type shit, you know how that shit goes.
I think with everything, it's good or bad.
Yeah. There's plus and minuses and
to everything. Yeah.
I see what you say. Like I said, man, because I don't always agree with everything, because I think the union does protect a lot of shitty people. I think it saves some people that probably should be fired because I've dealt with some of that shit too, where like I said, there's people I know that should have been gone a long time ago, and because of technicalities, they've been saved. But so
like I said, there's plus and minuses and everything.
Yeah. I think we could all agree on that.
Like I said, there and that just kind of harkens back to what I said. With the major promotions, there's probably not a need for a union anymore.
Yeah.
But with the indies, whether it's a union or a union like type thing, that's fair to everybody, whatever, You know what I'm saying? In the Indies, maybe it makes a little more sense.
I think the athletic boards, the state athletic board, should be a little more involved in wrestling.
I think it's
I
just too
think, I
hard to
think
do a
that would
union
help.
for the indies because, like I said, there's too many companies. People come and
Yeah.
go. They shut down. Hell, you could
Right.
change it. Like if you don't like something, you could just change your name and start up another company and
True.
keep going.
True.
Yeah. Well, like I said, keep the debate going, guys. All in the comments, conversation. We love it. Keep it going. We'll answer your questions. Moving on, we've got Conan will be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. What do y'all think about this? Y'all think he deserves? I love Conan. I didn't like him when he was first in the NWO, but like the more I watched him, the more he just grew on me. I didn't like some of the iterations with like I didn't like the filthy animals and stuff. I think they played off the Mexican gangsta
Yeah.
the gimmick too much. Yes, I mean that was cool and stuff, but I think they played on it too much. You know what I mean? I think like if he could have come to the WWE and like kind of calm that down, I think I'll be honest with you. I think Conan being with Eddie and Benoit and all them doing like a 5-man squad at that time with Conan leading it in the Attitude Era, I think that would have been a hell of a squad.
I mean, my whole opinion on what they did with the Radicals was they bumbled that from the beginning. And the only thing that was great about the Radicals was their debut.
Right, they did. But I mean, I'm just saying, as far as Conan goes, I think him as a 5th guy to that would have been awesome. And as the Radicals or whatever, I think the name the Radicals would have made more sense if Conan was a part of it, as opposed to the ones that were. What it just made no sense. The name to me, I love the group, just didn't like the name.
Yeah, I think if Ray and some of the other luchadors had left in that exodus, I think Conan likely would have. I think the reason he didn't is because he could stay to help lobby for the luchadors that stayed.
Well, but that was basically at the end of WCW. He could have come over at the end. He could have stopped that AOL deal and come over, which I mean, a lot of people didn't,
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're a professional wrestler, I don't know. Please, if you're a professional wrestler and indie wrestler, but if I don't know any wrestler, I've never seen any wrestler who is not going to take getting paid for 18 months over
and not having to work,
putting your body through hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Uncle Slam.
That's why Sting didn't do it. Go ahead, Slam.
Yeah, what do you think about Conan being in TNA Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I hate to say it, but I feel like they let anybody in. Now I like Conan, and I'm kind of like the opposite of you Legend, because back in the day when Conan was doing the whole gangster or whatever and shit, I was into that shit, so I liked that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was young, I thought I was the same way and shit.
Played it out. I don't think they ever allowed it to evolve. Let me put it that way.
I thought he was a great wrestler. I thought he could do a lot of shit. But Hall of Fame, like I said, I'm not saying he don't need to be there eventually. I feel like he could put
Not
a lot
even
of
in the
people
TNA Hall of Fame.
Oh, TNA. See, I don't know enough about TNA wrestling, man, to really put that. Like, if you're talking WWE, maybe. But
so Roku channel's got a TNA channel.
It's
you can go back.
You
can go back and watch all kinds of like the pay-per-views with Sting.
See, I don't know. See, I am the worst person as far as TNA because I don't know anything about it really, man. Like, I watch a little highlights here and there, but as far as TNA, I don't know shit. Like,
I'm getting ready to start on that Roku. Like I said, on Roku channel, I believe it is. I don't want to misspeak, but on Roku channel, there is a TNA channel that you can go back and watch the pay-per-views. Like I said, the pay-per-views with like from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
With Jarrett and R-Truth and all that stuff and everything. Yeah, you can go back and watch all that stuff and everything. So it's like, I want to, I'm kind of interested to see what I want to learn a history before, and that way I can like make a more balanced judgment, I guess,
Yeah.
between that time
Well, see, that's me.
and
Like,
then.
I can't really give a. All I know is Conan from WCW, and and that's pretty much it. Like anything after that, I don't really have a reference point and shit. Like I said,
What
just
was it? He joined LAX in TNA, I believe.
He made LAX.
Did he make LAX? Okay. Now I know
so,
Hernandez and what's the other one?
It was Hernandez and oh my goodness, and then the two guys from AEW. There
I
was
watched
actually
a
a
little
4-man.
bit of it.
It was actually a 4-man squad at one time.
was he a big faction or something? I mean, like was the world
Yeah,
champ over
LAX.
there?
It was mainly it was a tag team, but at one point in time, it was 4 guys and Conan leading them.
Has he been like? Is he just a tag team champ over there, or was he world champ, or what?
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
he
I
actually
don't
didn't
think he was ever
wrestle.
world champ.
He didn't wrestle that long in TNA, but he was around for a while because he became like that mentor, like
Okay.
especially with LAX. Like eventually he stopped wrestling and became kind of their main, like their manager, their
Oh,
leader, but without being in the ring.
okay.
So I mean, he would get in and still do stuff, but he wouldn't have like official booked matches and stuff like that. And so I mean, I think he does. He was in there for a while. He was a big part of their beginning. That's why I would say yes, he does need to be inducted. I would be fine with him being inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Yeah. See, like y'all know a lot more on this than I do when it comes to TNA. So y'all got
As far as TNA, yes. I would say yes, as far as TNA goes. Now, if we're going WWE, no. He was what, Aldo Montoya or something like that?
But WCW includes WWE now. So I would think he would get a place because of his run with WCW.
But see, that's what people use as the argument for the Midnight Express. But I would argue that the Midnight Express did not compete long enough in what was considered WCW to be considered a great WCW tag team. The Midnight Express, yes, are in the argument of top 5 greatest tag teams across all promotions ever.
Why do
but at the end of the day, the Midnight Express made their 10-year dominance through the NWA territories. They were an NWA great team that can be considered for one of the greatest tag teams of all time, is the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So with the same thing, I consider the same thing with, I don't know. I
would also like to point out WWE.
What did you say?
Go ahead, Slam.
I was just asking, like, are we asking is like a duration more, or does impact matter more when we're talking about this? It's kind of the way you want to look at it. Because there's some people that were there for a short time and made a big impact, and other people that were there for a longer time but didn't have as great of impact.
To be an all-time great, I think it has to mix. I think you have to have the proper balance. You know what I'm saying? The Ultimate Warrior was great for when he was great, and then it's kind of played out as an adult. When WCW came around, and I mean, even JD, a big WCW fan, can attest to this. When the WCW Ultimate Warrior came around, that was terrible. And we should have never had to deal with the 17-minute promos. So it's like, I think it's just, I think you have to know that proper balance. Okay. And that's what I think. And I think Conan had lightning in a bottle and a little bit for WCW. But I mean, and I think he was great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting him because people didn't know Conan, and he was great in the Luchador Mexico and stuff like that. All the Luchador
AAA actually.
AAA, yeah. I mean, he was great, and he was their Hulk Hogan.
Exactly, Slam.
Now, like AAA might be a different story. He might
right.
Like he's their Hulk Hogan and shit. Then I mean,
but AAA is now owned by WWE. They're not going to make
like does that factor in too, right there? So like, I mean, are you taking?
No, because he didn't wrestle in AAA since the merger. I think AAA should have its own Hall of Fame. Could it be backed by the WWE? Sure. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to. Everything doesn't have
I
to be
don't see them
just
doing that.
WWE. I don't either.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't see
just
them doing
saying that it doesn't. Everything doesn't have to be just under a WWE banner, but that's what they're shooting for. But anyways, I digress. We will move on.
All right.
Stop
What do you
boring
think?
you
I
all
mean,
with
like, do you think he should be in the TNA Hall of Fame legend? I mean, question.
TNA. I could see the argument. I wouldn't be mad if he is or he isn't. AAA, most definitely. WWE, hell no. He didn't do nothing in WWE. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I break it down. And I think everything's, do I think that there should be a WCW Hall of Fame? Yes. I think WWE should stop ignoring the fact that WCW existed. I think WWE, even if you're not going to bring back the brand, at least start acknowledging the fact that there's a WCW Hall of Fame too. Let's do that because there is a WCW Hall of Fame. They did it at Slamboree every year. They inducted people into the Hall of Fame.
That's true.
So
yeah,
let's acknowledge it too.
such as it was.
You see what I'm saying? So I mean, there's just I think Hall of Fame should be subjective to your body of work in that Hall of Fame. Should Rick Martel be in the WWE Hall of Fame? I mean, this is a question. See, that's debatable, right? I'm using it as an example. That's a debatable thing. I don't think it's debatable. I think he should be. But when you go to the AWA, if you have an AWA Hall of Fame, well, he is the longest reigning AWA World Heavyweight Champion of all time.
Well, yeah, in AWA, yeah, but not
right. That's what I'm saying. It's to me, it's subjective to who you went with.
I do agree. I do agree with that, J Mac, and I do agree with they should all probably have their own Hall of Fames. But the WWE owns all of those companies, so and they're likely not going to set them up separately. And I think people should be honored. I think they should. I think what they should do is start a WCW wing of the WWE.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
AWA wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. I think they should start having these other wings, like the celebrity wing, for the reasons that you're saying, J Mac.
Right. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't even want a wing. I don't want to. I just think it should be its own thing, and it's because it's there.
I don't think it's
already
its
there.
own thing. I think a wing is something the WWE would do, but I don't
that's
think
what
they
I'm
would
saying.
ever do their own.
I'm not talking about what the WWE will do. We all know what the WWE is going to do, and that's nothing that doesn't have the WWE logo on it. Yes. I'm just saying that I wish that we would stop doing that and let's have the WCW and let's have the NWA, let's have the AWA, and all that stuff. So that's all I'm saying. We all know that WWE is not going to do anything that doesn't benefit just WWE. Period. In the long run. And,
so would you be satisfied? Satisfied with them just getting their own wing?
It'd be better than
WCW wing, and then have
it would be better than nothing because then you could start to acknowledge the Hall of Famers from the Slamborees who are already in there. Like nobody knew that there was a WWE Hall of Fame for years, and then all of a sudden Andre the Giant was in it, and he was the very first inductee type thing. You see what I'm saying? Let's start acknowledging where they were done. That's all I'm saying. My opinion. But anyways, moving on. I didn't realize we were as far in as we are. Let's see. Did you all know that after leaving WWE, Miss Elizabeth became an ESPN commentator for offshore boat racing?
Yes, I did.
No, I did not.
I didn't either, man. I had no damn clue.
What year was this?
I don't remember what it said, but I was like, huh? Yeah,
I believe it was. I think it was something like sometime between 02 and 04 is when she started, and I think she did it for 4 to 6 years or so, I believe.
Nope, I had no clue.
Someone can fact check me on that because I'm definitely not 100% sure. I just knew that she was
covering offshore power boat racing. I wasn't a power boat racing fan in the early early days of whenever she left WWE. What was that? Well, no, because when she left WWE, it was like 92, 93. Or no, that was that. See, I need to find out if this is before, like in the time that she came back for the what was it? The match made in heaven, match made in hell when she married Macho, or if it was after that when she left again after that and then showed up in WCW. I need to fact check that.
I think it was between WWE and WCW, not between her WWE tenures.
You may be right. I don't know though. I'm gonna fact check it,
Years.
guys,
By the way, I had the
and I will
years
get
wrong.
back to you next week.
I think I said 02 or between 02 and 05. That was obviously wrong. What I meant was like between 92 and 95, I believe, is when she actually did the whole thing. And she didn't do it for 6 years. I apologize for that.
Like in between the first two WWE runs,
No, she
or
joined
after the second WWE run.
Yeah, I think so.
Just before the WCW run. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I think. But
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. Well, I'll have to check it out. Like I said, I will if I will write it down, and I will report on that next week for all the fans out there. Let me tell you something, brother. All righty, next one. This is going to be kind of a pick your own thing. We'll do quick picks. You got to pick 3 of these guys to start your company with. Who you doing? We'll start with Uncle Slam. Like I said, do quick picks.
Let me see.
Give me your picks and tell me a quick reason why.
All right, we're gonna go Rock because he's a great one, charismatic, gonna carry your company. Ric Flair, greatest to ever do it. Gotta have him. Um,
Yeah. I know.
Last is probably gonna be Andre because he's the. Oh no! Well, let me see. I didn't see Stone Cold. All right, man. Let me have Stone Cold. Take Stone Cold because it's Stone Cold.
Okay,
So
so
you
you
got
got Stone Cold,
Oh,
Ric Flair, and The Rock.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2 people Ric Flair can bounce off of, and 2 guys that can chase Ric Flair. I see that. I'm gonna throw one at you after JD gets done with him. See, I want to see how it rivals yours. JD, let's give us yours real quick. Quick.
I think I'm going to stick with Uncle Slam's first 2 picks and go with The Rock and the Nature Boy Ric Flair for obvious reasons. They're The Rock and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. But my third pick, I don't know if I'm going to go with Austin. I think with Ric Flair and The Rock, you have that kind of personality thing. I think what I would want to round out the third is a wrestler. So I would pick the Hitman as my third.
Okay.
Okay, good pick.
I like it. I see it. Yeah, I mean those 3 guys because you got a technical guy to run off of Ric Flair to have Iron Man matches with, and then you've got The Rock to do the quick electrifying matches like a Lex Luger type match and everything. Which I mean, I'm not comparing The Rock and Lex Luger. Rock is obviously much better than Lex Luger, and I mean no disrespect to Lex Luger, but The Rock is obviously. Even though The Rock is not a technician himself, he's a step above Lex Luger, to say the least.
Yeah, I would agree with that, J Mac.
So if I'm going to go with this, and I'm thinking of a business model here, and just a business model.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to be biased here, and I'm going to be biased for a reason. So my first 2 picks, because I can put these 2 guys on any card in any city, in any nation, and I'm going to draw money because it's the greatest rivalry of all time. I'm taking Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
I figured you were taking Shawn Michaels.
Now, my third guy that I'm taking, because he is cash money no matter where he goes, in what city and everything, and I know I've got 2 matches on the card that are going to draw me money. And that the third guy is going to be Hulk Hogan, because I can put any big man with Hulk Hogan and draw. As long as Hulk Hogan sees money with him, he could draw with him. That's 2 matches on my card that I know that I can just develop everything else. But I know those 2 matches are going to put butts in seats. And that's no disrespect to anybody else. But I just think as far as Hulk, like I said, he can do the Hulk thing with any big man, you bring along after that. and then you've got Sean and Brett to put on the again the two guys who carried the company with the Intercontinental title as opposed to the world title. So it's like I just think, and it's no disrespect to Rick, because I think Rick would be a great option too. Because I could easily replace Hulk with Rick, and could you imagine that triangle right there? Sean, Rick, and Brett.
True.
Putting matches on around the country, that would have blasted some stuff. But I just Hulk Hogan for his selling power. Hulk Hogan is the Pontiac Silverdome. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm not a
that's
Hulk fan.
I'm not a Hulk fan. I'm not a Terry Bollea fan. I'm a Hulk Hogan fan.
I'm not either. Actually, I'm probably more of a Terry Bollea fan than I am a Hulk Hogan fan.
I just think Hulk was, to me, he was what got me involved in wrestling.
See,
as
that's
far as
the thing. I can't say that. I did not start watching wrestling even when my parents would try and be like, "Oh, you like Hulk Hogan because he was the big hero, and say your prayers and take your vitamins." And you know what I said? No, I don't like Hulk Hogan. I like Sting. I like the blonde-haired, spiked face.
Well, yeah, but Hogan was around.
Ow.
Hogan was around before Sting for at least a good 3 years before Sting. So Hogan's what got me started. But when I first seen Sting, I mean, I was like, okay, Sting is something that I can latch on to for this other company. You feel what I'm saying, Uncle Slam?
Yeah. I mean, to me, he was the equivalent to, like when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Hogan was that main dude, and then Sting was the other for WCW.
Right.
So, I mean, I definitely feel what you're saying. Of course, I'm always been a big Sting fan. My childhood, I liked Hogan. I like Hulk Hogan. But then, of course, later on, all the shit with Terry Bollea or whatever kind of started me on and shit. My inner child liked the younger Hogan, but the older shit I like.
My rational adult says he wasn't the angel that everybody thought he was.
Well, I grew up and
right.
I've just never been a fan of Hulk Hogan.
All righty. Well, on to the next real quick.
You can't deny his drawing power. I just want to say that.
That's true. Yeah, you can.
Right?
And so, that's the reason I would take him.
Yeah.
All right, you're in a fight. You got to call one of these guys to save you. Who you calling, JD?
Is this a real fight or a wrestling fight?
A real fight. You're in a fight, and you got to call one of these guys to stop to save you from the fight. Who you
Can I call him Ming instead of Haku? Because I know him.
Call him whatever. You can call him whatever you want to.
I would call Ming or Haku. That's he was Ming in WCW.
He was Haku in WWE.
I've heard so many wrestlers say that he is the most dangerous man that they've ever met. Not the craziest. If you want the craziest, you probably look on the right side of that chart. But one of the most dangerous people is always described as Haku or Ming. So I'm gonna call him.
Uncle Slam.
Well, on this, I think there's only two real choices, which is all on the left side, either Brock or Ming / Haku. I, like everybody else, like you follow wrestling, man, you heard the legend of Haku. So it comes down to those two.
Is this Brock in his prime or Brock today? Is this Brock Prime or Brock today?
I will say Brock Prime. Everybody in their prime.
If it's Brock Prime, that would be an even tougher
call. I know, because like you got a guy that's a wrestler plus MMA, which you wouldn't call that. He's still world champ though. But this is a street fight, which is different than anything else. I'm gonna go with Haku on this.
All right. We got Haku. Honestly and truthfully, I am going to. None of these guys would be a bad choice because I'm telling you right now, New Jack. I mean, if New Jack is fighting for you and it's like loyalty like that, New Jack he's just going.
Is he high? That's the question. Is he high?
Is he
gonna
high?
burn.
Are there people watching?
He
Then
will
you
burn the
have to
place
consider.
down around everybody and not care. Now, Bruiser Brody, I have heard that he's not exactly burned the place down around everybody crazy, but he would, and not even crazy. Just don't
Fry
f
short of
with
a
him.
Happy Meal.
Well, don't f with me type
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on. Before we get into my opinion, let me see. We got some comments coming in. Noah earlier said, "Happy fourth, guys." Noah is also Jedi theorist. Happy early fourth, guys. Stay safe. Love y'all. I may be a little tipsy. He's celebrating his son's birthday tonight. Independence. That's right, son. I love you. Be safe. Let Emily drive home or just stay where you at. I love you. Be careful, and yeah, kiss my boy for me. Joe Hinton said, "Oh, he's Big Beard Dudley. Love you, Beard." He said, "Haku all day. Haku is snatching eyeballs and biting noses." Yes, most definitely. These guys are all crazy. I've heard crazy stories about Bruiser Brody and everything. I don't think Brock is crazy, but I think Brock is dangerous. He's just a dangerous individual with his combination of power and size.
Yeah.
And this is going to lead into another question here in a minute anyway, so we'll just segue into that after this. Haku's probably the guy I'm going to go with too. I think we all kind of agree that Haku is the man to call in a real fight, other than maybe Andre the Giant if he's not available.
Shit, yeah.
I mean, the man pulled out somebody's teeth.
Right. All right. So
I've just been picking up people by the face and throwing them around.
Segueing into that, who y'all got? I know it says crown jewel, but in a legit MMA fight, because Bobby Lashley was good at MMA. I'm not gonna hate on him. I'm not a big fan of Bobby Lashley as a professional wrestler. I wish athletically Bobby Lashley is great. I wish to God he had some kind of personality. His personality is about as dull as friggin' Bill Goldberg's. I mean, the best thing he's got to do is snort and snot and flex.
Well, ain't that why he's got like MVP now?
Right, and
yeah,
I get
exactly.
it. I get it, but I'm also not taking anything away from his athletic ability and his outside wrestling ability, because he is a dangerous man, just like Brock. So at their ages with this, I don't know if y'all can see this breakdown. If you can't, I will enlarge it for you. 46 Bobby Lashley, 45 age. Height for Bobby Lashley 6'3", height for Brock 6'4". Weight for Bobby Lashley is 273, for Brock is 286. MMA record, Lashley is 15-2. Lesnar is 5-3. 6 KOs for Lashley, 3 for Brock, 6 submissions Lashley, 1 for Brock. 2 times Mania heavyweight championship, UFC heavyweight champion with Brock, 2000 NCAA heavyweight champion. In-ring experience is pretty much the same, 24-22. Wrestling titles, 2 times WWE champion versus Brock's 7-time WWE champion. Lashley's 3-time U.S. champion versus Brock's 3-time Universal champion. Which, what's the difference, man? Universal was the world championship, so it's 10 times he's won world champion. Stupid.
Yes, so, it is.
2-time WWE Intercontinental Champion for Lashley, 2002 King of the Ring for Brock. Let's see what else we got here. 2 times ECW Heavyweight Champion, 2003 and 2022 Royal Rumble winner Brock. Uncle Slam, who you got?
Let's see, because I've actually watched Brock fight before. I haven't seen much. I've seen maybe one fight of Bobby Lashley in like MMA. And from what I know, because I ain't no expert, but I am a fan, I believe if they went at it in MMA, I believe Lashley would probably beat Brock, in my opinion. I think you better striker. Brock is not the best striker. He's more one of them guys. He can get you to the ground and kind of hold you down. He doesn't really do too many submissions and shit.
And let's emphasize, I want this to be prime, both of them.
Yeah.
Because I know
Um,
Brock had the diverticulitis, and that messed with
yeah.
him, and it sucks because
But
he
like
was
I
good.
said, like in Brock's prime, like like he had, his hands are like fucking hams and shit. But he was one of those guys because he's a wrestler. He can get you down, hold you down and shit, and then kind of just pound you. But he's not a submission guy. He's not really that great of a striker. Bobby Lashley is definitely more of a striker. I don't know how he uses submission. I think if it's standing up, it's gonna be Bobby Lashley, and I don't think Brock can submit too many people. So I think Lashley would win, like if they fought.
Okay. JT,
Yeah,
JD.
yeah, JD. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say Bobby Lashley too. I think Brock's only hope would to land that one shot to Bobby Lashley. If you can catch him with that one shot, then of course Brock could win. He did have the power to do that, but short of that, Bobby Lashley wins that engagement 9 out of 10 times, I think, or 99 out of 100.
Okay. I would. I don't know. I don't know enough about UFC. I like watching UFC here and there and everything. I know what I see. I know what I read, and I know what my gut tells me as far as that goes. But like, I would. I wouldn't want to guess who would win with that, but it would definitely be a match I would have loved to have seen in their primes. Thank you to all 8 people watching this. I honestly and truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you watching. Um, we are going to move on to the next one here. Okay, so this is going to be another quick take. So I want you to tell me, don't think too much and just give it to me the way you can. You got 3, 6, 9 teams. These are your tag teams that you've got to run a company with. Now you got to start from your best tag team to your worst tag team and rank them, but you got to do it in a quick take. So try to give it to me in about a minute and a half if you can. JD, you start. These are your teams.
You want me to rank them?
Right now, basically, yes, from top to bottom. If you were running a company, these are your teams.
Okay, who's in the middle row on the right?
Middle row on the right,
Yeah,
that
I'm not sure
is
who
the
that is.
Rougeau brothers.
The Rougeau brothers.
So
Oh my
see
goodness.
the dude on the left, that's the Mountie.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me start at the top and start with some of the teams I know. We'll put everybody else on the bottom. Probably the British, probably the British Bulldogs.
Youngsters.
I would probably put number one.
The Bulldogs
Um,
number one. Okay.
I would probably put the Arn and Tully number two.
Okay.
Who's in the bottom right? It's the Barbarian and who?
That Barbarian and the Warlord, the
The
powers of
Barbarian
pain.
and the Warlord. Um,
They were the closest thing to the Legion of Doom, and probably the only thing that really could have rivaled the Legion of Doom, because I don't think Demolition was even a knockoff of the Legion of Doom. I think they were something totally different, but that's just my opinion.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I definitely don't know a lot of these tag teams. So I'm gonna put the Wild Samoans. Is that who's in the middle, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Wild Samoans or no, that's Head Shrinkers.
Oh, the Head Shrinkers. Well, I mean, the descendants of the Wild Samoans, aren't they?
Yeah, technically, but that's Rikishi and Tama. I think it is. No, not
Yeah.
Tama Tonga.
So I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna put them
Samu.
number three, and then put I can't remember. You just told me their name, and I can't remember
The Rougeau brothers.
No, Barbarian and Warlord.
Powers of Pain.
Powers of Pain. Yeah, I'd probably put them at number 4. Put the Rougeau brothers at number 5, and don't know who the other 4 tag teams are.
So it's Power and Glory, the Killer Bees, the Wild Stallions, and Strike Force.
Okay.
Yep.
Definitely
You seriously don't know who those teams are?
None of those. Listen, those tag team names did not help me know who those are.
All right. Well, moving on to Uncle Slam then.
The other 5 teams. When you said Rougeau and you said the Head Shrinkers, I knew. All right, yeah, I know who they are.
Dude, the fabulous Rougeau brothers are some of the greatest French Canadian tag team.
I know who they are. I know the 5 teams that I picked. I don't know. Nope, nothing about the other 4.
Uncle Slam, give it to us then.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna go with Arn and Tully, number 1.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Head Shrinkers 2.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Bulldog 3. Who's at the bottom middle?
That's the Young Stallions, Paul Roma and Jim Powers.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with the Powers of Pain.
Beautiful segue, Slam. I love how you did that.
Who's that in the middle on the bottom? That's the Young Stallions, Paul Roma and Jim Powers. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the Powers of Pain. That was comedy gold right there.
Oh, man.
Thank you to the new watcher. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me interrupt you real quick, Uncle Slam. We got 7 new comments. Joe says, hold on, let me get, damn it, I messed it up. I'm terrible at this. All right, Big Beard says Brock takes him, his collegiate wrestling background would dominate. Talking about the whatchamajigger called guy, the Brock, and yeah, that's it.
I think Bobby's got collegiate wrestling too, a little bit, doesn't he? I don't think he's as.
I don't know what his amateur background is. Sorry, don't want to get off the what we're talking about here, guys. But if anybody knows what Bobby's collegiate background is, please let us know. We also got somebody else commenting. It's AI bots on Twitch, but that's okay. They can keep commenting too. We like all comments, AI bots, all kinds, as long as it's commenting, interacting with our stuff. We like that. But anyways, getting back to thank you to my daughter-in-law, Emily, for watching. Love you too. Joe said, ha ha. He said all you had to say was Paul Roma. All righty, Uncle Slam. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. So you've got Brain Busters, Head Shrinkers, Bulldogs, Powers of Pain. Now who for your 5th?
All right, let's see. 5th would have to be.
I think we know who's going to be last.
The Canadians,
the Rougeaus.
Yeah, the Rougeaus.
Okay.
Now I've heard of some of these other ones, but they all seem about the same. So I mean, there ain't really no order to.
You don't remember Strike Force with Tito and Rick Martel?
Not really, man.
2-time tag team champions?
No.
The Headbangers.
He said no.
The Headbangers.
No, I'm not even on front. I'm not going front.
The Headbangers.
The Headbangers.
Now the Headbangers I remember. Let's see. What was the one top left? Was that Power? What did you say?
Power and Glory. Paul.
Okay,
Paul Roma's on here twice. That's Paul Roma and Hercules.
Power and Glory, like I remember. So I'm gonna go with them. Then,
they had a pretty good finishing move too. That power suit, that superplex into that splash was pretty cool.
And then the Young Stallions are below them, right?
At the very bottom in the middle is the Young Stallions. Yes.
Yeah. Now, whoever's dressed like the Killer Bees here with the.
That's the Killer Bees.
Yeah, they're last.
They're last.
Really? You would put the Killer Bees last?
Yes, I would.
Oh man, see, okay. When I do mine real quick, I will tell you why I wouldn't.
Okay,
but we'll get into that real quick.
Right.
Whenever you get done, yeah. I think that's
it right there.
Yeah. Okay, so if I'm going to do 2 teams to carry my division, then I'm going to go 4 teams to carry my division. I am going to do Arn and Tully, the Brainbusters, aka or the 4 Horsemen / the Brainbusters. I'm going to do the Bulldogs, of course, because they can wrestle with any tag team out there. I'm going to do Strike Force. And we're just saying this is whenever they're the best, not whenever they're breaking up or anything like that. Strike Force, and then I'm probably going to go with the Rougeau brothers, and that's going to be my 4 top tag teams to trade off that world title status. Now, I'm going to throw in, at that point, I'm probably going to do the Powers of Pain for 5. For 6, I'm going to go with the Killer Bees.
Wow.
Okay, so the Killer Bees. You want me to elaborate on why? Because
Well,
they're
like you said, you were going to.
right. I don't think that they were good enough to be one of the top four. And I'm not saying that they were bad because they were a good tag team. They didn't last long or anything like that. But their overall gimmick was cool because and yes, it probably would have got old over time, but it was still a cool concept that they would start the match off like you see them right now. And then something would happen in the match to where they would both get thrown out of the ring at the same time and they would both put a mask on. And so the guy who was getting the shit beat out of him would end up staying out, and the fresh guy would come in without a tag. And it was kind of cheating for the good guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was kind of a cool concept. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm
I
saying?
remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so that I think
just-
that would have been good enough to, like, you know, for a little while to be able to carry a tag team championship here and there to be an alternate. After that, I would have probably you could do the Head Shrinkers or Power and Glory, either one in that next spot alternating, because I think each one of them could have taken a turn with the championship too, you know, just to mix things up. The guys that I think should have got beat all the time is the guys that you don't even understand at the bottom there, old Wild Stallions. He's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna take Power and Glory on that one.
Hey, let's name our tag team and the name of that gay bar we were at last week.
Young Stallions.
Young Stallions. Isn't that what it was called?
What was it? The Blue Oyster in Police Academy. That was great. All right, guys. This is a list of never gonna happen matches. We gotta hurry this up a little bit. This is running a little longer than what I wanted to. We still gotta get to some other stuff. We'll get to it. These are matches that are never gonna happen. I want you to give me your top 3 that you wish. I'll give you a chance to look over it and I'll enhance it. But give me your top 3 that you would have wanted to use as a main event of 3 straight WrestleManias. Couldn't be the same match over, but pick 3 matches that were never going to happen that you wish you could have done to headline 3 straight. And I say WrestleMania, but you know, your company's top bad guy would be Starcade.
Yeah. Who do you want to go first?
Who went first last time?
I have no idea.
Okay, Jay didn't go first.
Mine are going to be real pick. Undertaker and Sting.
I knew that was coming.
No question about it. Number 2, Big Show and Andre the Giant. And number 3 for my sleeper match, Rhea Ripley versus China.
Okay. Uncle Slam.
Let's see. I'm gonna agree with JD on the Undertaker Sting match. Let's see. What else do we got here? I ain't got time. I
Shawn
probably
greatest.
is that Stone Cold and Randy Orton at the bottom.
Yep.
One?
Stunner versus RKO.
Yeah, I would take that.
Hey, move your microphone in front of your face more.
Oh, sorry. I would take Stone Cold and then Randy Orton. Of course, the first one I said was Sting and Undertaker, and then next,
now, granted, this is everybody in their primes.
yeah,
We always do this in their prime.
What's the one right that who's that? By like, is that Ahmed Johnson and Kane? Who's beside?
Oh, that is Obafemi.
Obafemi and Unmasked Kane.
Oh, okay, who's right beside them? I can't tell who those 2 people are.
That is John Morrison and Seth Rollins.
Okay, no.
He said, I ain't going.
He said, I pick.
He's John Morrison's was his Young Stallions.
Yeah. I'm going to go with this other big then.
Let me get Sasha Banks and is that AJ Lee?
Yeah, AJ Lee.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Let me get AJ and Sasha Banks then.
All righty. If I'm going to go my three to headline three straight WrestleManias, I'm going to have to start off and agree with Uncle Slam. Uh, I don't think you could go wrong with either one of the Rhea Ripley, China, or AJ Lee, Sasha Banks. My only issue is I love China, but China was not a good wrestler. Unfortunately, she was from that time period where women weren't taught to wrestle as good as the men were. Unfortunately, uh, sad time in wrestling too, by the way. So I'm gonna go with AJ Lee, Sasha Banks. Uh, and I'm doing these in order of how I would do the matches. So year one is going to be AJ Lee Banks. Year two is going to be Shawn Michaels and Eddie Guerrero. Because could you imagine like 94, 95, 96 Shawn Michaels and prime Eddie Guerrero going at it?
Okay.
The
Not bad.
matches. And then to top it all off, the culmination year three is going to be. I mean, I think it's the obvious choice. You got to go with Sting Undertaker. That's the one everybody wants. I think that would have been the best match. Plus, not only that, like I said, I mean, I love Sting. Don't get me wrong. But just like, and Undertaker was kind of the same too. But you pretty much were going to get the same match all the time from these two wrestlers, just like Rick, just like Hogan. You know what I'm saying? They had their formula that worked. It's not a knock on them. That's what you do. You learn what match works for you and you do it. But I think that's the match that is what everybody would want to see. Sean and Eddie, I think, would be more of a on the fly type match. And then Sasha and AJ Lee is just, I think, a matchup that everybody would love to see at the end of the day. Well, I say Sasha, but Monet, whatever you want to call her now. All right, next one, Uncle Slam. We're going to get to you real quick. You got the greatest Royal Rumble of all time, 91 versus 90. I'm going to give you the rundown on it.
All right.
The Bushwhackers, Luke and Butch, and this is 1990. The Bushwhackers, Luke and Butch, defeat the fabulous Rougeau brothers, Jacques and Raymond. Speaking of the two, a grudge match, the genius Lanny Poffo, the Macho Man's brother, versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake, ended in a no contest. Submission match, rugged Ronnie Garvin defeated Greg the Hammer Valentine. That's a terrible rendition of rugged Ronnie Garvin because that don't look nothing like him. He had a flat top. And as a matter of fact, if people don't remember, that is the year that rugged Ronnie Garvin used the move that he invented, which was eventually used by Sting and Bret Hart because it was called the reverse figure four. He invented that move about 10 years earlier. Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeated the Big Boss Man by by KO, I believe it says. Sorry, it's a little blurry. And the Immortal Hulk Hogan eliminated Mr. Perfect to win the Royal Rumble. 1991, the first match of the night, which I consider one of the greatest Royal Rumble matches of all time. It's a tag team match, and a lot of people agree. No joke. Go back and watch it. It really is a good match. The Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty defeated the Orient Express, Kato and Tanaka with Mr. Fuji. The Big Boss Man defeated the Barbarian with Bobby the Brain Heenan because the Boss Man had turned face at this point. Sergeant Slaughter defeated the Ultimate Warrior to win the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. That's the year that Macho Man busted the scepter on Warrior's head. The Mountie, one of the members of the fabulous Rougeau brothers, defeated Coco Beware. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and his bodyguard Virgil defeated Dusty Rhodes and a rookie Dustin Rhodes. And Hulk Hogan eliminated Earthquake to win the Royal Rumble. First back-to-back win for any wrestler. Uncle Slam, which one do you think is the greater Royal Rumble?
Oh, easy. 91.
91?
91. No, I think we just had better matches. I mean, first the tag team match, the Rockers, versus With who was it again?
The Orient Express, Kato and
Orient
Tanaka.
Express. And on the other side, you got what, the Bushwhackers versus
The Bushwhackers defeating the Fabulous Rougeau brothers.
not much. I mean, now I've always been a big Boss Man fan, so I mean that's kind of easy to go. What was the other one? Sergeant Slaughter, I think.
Sergeant Slaughter defeated the Ultimate Warrior for the world title. I think
That's
that was
history.
I think that was what put it over because it was the swerve nobody expected.
Yes, yeah. And see, I think that was kind of history right there. And then what's the right underneath that one?
You got the Mountie beating Coco Beware.
I don't care about that. No, I'm talking about the $1 Million Man.
$1 Million Man and Virgil versus Dusty and Dustin Rhodes.
Yes.
So that was kind of like the WWE debut of Dustin Rhodes.
And I think Hogan, to me, now I know more people probably gonna like, the 90 as far as Hogan's match, but I liked him versus the Earthquake more because I thought it was more of a challenge.
Okay.
So yeah, 91 I think it's had better matches.
All right, JD.
Yeah, 91. It's a more balanced card. You get 3 tag matches, 2 singles matches in the Royal Rumble. That's a much better card just in terms of match type. And then obviously the personnel, I think.
You mean 2 tag matches?
What?
You mean 2 tag matches?
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. 2 tag matches, 3 singles matches, and then of course the Royal Rumble match. I think that just the matches alone make it better. And of course, Sergeant Slaughter beating Ultimate Warrior for the WWF title was
monumental at the time.
Yeah, so yeah, I think 91 definitely over it.
Yeah, they definitely. That's what I liked about that. Like I said, that was the swerve that nobody seen coming as far as that pay-per-view. Okay, so moving on as quick as we can. Like I said, I don't want to keep everybody too late. We're trying to shorten these shows, and it's not being successful this week, but we're trying. So we already know where JD's going to go on this, but Uncle Slam, I'm interested to see what your take is. Are you NWO or are you DX?
Probably NWO.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, JD, tell us where you go. I know where you're going to go to.
Yeah. I don't think you need to ask me. Why don't you go ahead, J-Mac? I'm obviously NWO.
Well, I look at it like this. One, the thing that I think is so gracious about it is it was 2 different organizations.
Oh, I love both. I want to be clear about that.
Yeah. Me too.
I cannot honestly and truthfully rank one above the other. Do I think DX came about partially because of the NWO? Yes, there's no doubt. But do I think that, certain wrestlers came about because of another wrestler? Yes, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? So
they also both survived different incarnations of the group.
Yes, and that's the thing. DX was doing stuff like flashing their butts and stuff like that. NWO wasn't doing that. NWO was more like gang warfare. When I look at the NWO, I think of NWA rap. When I look at DX, I think of grunge music. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's 2 gangs.
Different. Yeah.
But they're different in the way they present themselves, neither one being better than the other. I think they both were perfect for the company that they were in. And I honestly, truthfully, I can't pick one over the other. I think I can't because okay, well then here's how I'm going to pick. 1A, B, and C, as far as the greatest factions of all time, are the Horsemen, NWO, and DX in no particular order. That's the way I rank it.
Boy, Slam, your co-host can ride a fence, man.
He's killing me here. Like, you gotta make the hard decision sometimes, man.
Even Adonis on that fence pole.
If I had to break it down and I had to grab and latch on to one, I probably would go with DX. And the reasoning is because I think that because they were kept a smaller group, even with the Stone Cold shit, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, China, Rick Rude faction, versus, all the incarnations up until the last, 5. I think they were kept small so it was easier to stay loyal.
Are we talking about small DX or big DX?
What any DX? Like, what do you
Which,
consider big DX?
well, big is
That
the
what's on
one
the
with the
screen.
Road Dog and
Without
Xbox.
Sean.
Yeah,
Badass, yeah.
without Sean.
Xbox
Yeah,
China.
I think any
yeah.
version of them, they were kept. If it wouldn't have been for the fact that they needed somebody to jump up and become a new heel, which was Triple H, and he wanted to do it anyway, but he was trying to bump himself up and everything. I think if that wouldn't have took place, they were still the most loyal team. At that point, the NWO was like, oh, who's turning? You know what I'm saying? Who's in, who's out, who's this, who's that? I think there was just so many question marks with the NWO by that point. That's just my opinion. So if I had to nail it down, I'd go with DX just because of their cohesiveness. Until the end, of course, it always breaks up and everything. But the Horsemen never broke up like that. They just kind of disbanded over time. All righty. So talking about Sami Zayn and his championship. The championship change was a surprise. I don't think he's the guy in their plans. It's very similar to Darby Allin in a sense that at some point they were going to do it. The Darby Allin thing turned out to be a pretty big success the way it was done, and this could be too. I don't see a long reign, but I hope it's longer than SummerSlam. Long enough to where it's not like one of those things where, well, we finally gave it to him, but we didn't mean it. And of course, this is Dave Meltzer saying it. You got to take things Dave Meltzer says with a grain of salt. But do you? I don't listen to everything Dave Meltzer says, but I kind of agree with this. It could be good, and I think it could be successful, just like Darby Allin. But I don't think it's the long-term plans, and I don't think it's going to last very long. JD.
I think that Dave Meltzer and Jim Cornette maybe need to retire. That's kind of what I think from it. That's kind of my opinion on it. Is that they need to retire. I think it's time. Give him a gold watch. Slam, right? Don't you think?
Definitely Dave Meltzer for sure. He said, I don't know. I haven't heard Jim say that much lately, so I don't know what he's talking about.
I think if you want people to buy into the show of wrestling, you're putting we know it's predetermined, but if you want people to be able to buy into the show that you're putting on, and if you want people to think that these are legitimate wrestling matches that they're putting on, then having Sami Zayn. Now, do I think Sami Zayn is WWE's response to Darby Allin's title reign? Yep. 100%. I think if Darby Allin doesn't reign with the AEW title, I don't know that Sami Zayn does. I think this is a WWE response to something the AEW did. But I think it's bad for either company. I think it just goes to show that on any given night, if you are in there with the world champion, you do have a chance to win. I don't care how long it is. I don't care if it's a week. I don't care if they take it off Sami Zayn next week. Just like
could win
off Darby Allin. I think I would also like it to be a long reign.
It's just it's the mystery of being able to win. Anybody can win
exactly
at any point in time.
That's why I absolutely like both of those guys winning the belt, because if you want people to think that anybody can win at any given time, you occasionally have to throw some curveballs in there and have this person win. So I don't have a problem with either one. I think it's great for wrestling, and I think it's exactly what WWE needed because they were really starting to fall off the table.
So Joe, sorry, I'm gonna get to some of these comments real quick. Joe said, "You don't know the Killer Bees?"
No, I don't know the Killer Bees, Joe. I'm sorry.
Nikita, she's joining us. Thank you for watching. She said hello. Thank you for always being here. Joe said China Style could still pull it off. Joe also said NWO's downfall was all the members. DX wins for keeping it small.
Yeah.
Joe also said Sean DX was a tag team. Trips DX was a stable. I can see that. Even though I don't know, I kind of consider it a stable too because they had Rude. 4 people is You know,
Yeah, they had Rude. They had
it bordered on that stable tag team line. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, technically the only two real active people at the time were Shawn and Triple H. China wasn't really wrestling; she was just bodyguarding, and so was Rick Rude. So it was kind of like it bordered on that stable tag team. I see what you're saying, Joe. And Joe said Sammy was a political move. I guess he's referring to the fact that uh, Sammy was it was in Sammy's home area. And Joe just hold on, sorry, let me get to this last one. Joe just said Rude wasn't active. Right, that's what I'm saying. It kind of borders on that, you know, Rude being active. They were kind of waiting it out to see if he was going to be able to get back in the ring or not because of his I can't remember if it was back or his neck.
His
But
neck.
he broke something and
Sting broke his neck.
Yep, he sure did. Damn it, Sting ruined it for DX. Could you imagine Rick Rude with Shawn Michaels and Triple H and DX? Changing kind of like Rick Rude's.
I think that changes. I think that would have changed the Monday Night Wars in a much more fundamental way than DX had already started. Like the NWO DX battle, that was already starting. So, but Rick Rude, an active Rick Rude, but see, he was in the NWO.
Yeah, on the same night.
On the same, exactly. So yeah, I mean, Rick Rude in either one would have been phenomenal. I'm a big Rick Rude fan.
I just think that because you could eventually broke Rick Rude off from DX and had Rick Rude versus Shawn, Rick Rude versus Brett, Rick Rude versus this guy, that guy, blah blah blah. Anyway, all right, getting down to the last one I've got before we get to the results of the shows real quick. Let's see. So, Uncle Slam, have you had a chance to look at anything that happened at what is it, Forbidden Door?
I've seen a couple of highlights. I don't know like everything, but I know the main thing.
Have you seen the fact that they had a round ring?
Yes,
a round cage.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I meant. Round cage. You knew what I meant.
I saw that. I saw the explosions. I saw the.
That was cool.
Yeah, Darby Allin coming off that motherfucker. God.
So my question is, what do you think about this round ring open top as compared to the Hell in a Cell closed top, or can you even compare them?
No.
Let's start with Uncle Slam on this one, then we'll get to JD, because I know JD's the diehard AEW fan. That man will defend AEW over anything. I promise you, people. That's not a bad thing.
I think it's cool, man. Like I said, I mean, I ain't got no issue with it. I think it's something different. I think ain't nothing wrong with trying something different. I mean, if it don't work, you always go back to what you did before. If it gives you more freedom, if it gives you more ideas, go with it and shit. I mean, I think that's what wrestling's about, is taking chances. Like, if we keep doing the same steel cage matches they used to do back in the day, we would never got Hell in a Cell. We never would have got a lot of the matches that we have now as far as cage matches. So do it. I'm all for it.
Before you answer, JD, I'm gonna give my little response to that, because I agree with what you're saying, Uncle Slam. It's like we had cage matches before. Well, it had to evolve from an everyday cage match, so it had bigger stakes. The bigger stakes were, okay, we went to a Hell in a Cell. Well, actually, if you want to get technical, it went from a cage match to a War Games match.
Yeah.
Two rings in a covered cell. Then it went to Hell in a Cell. Then they had to up it even more. So instead of having teams and 2 rings, it was Elimination Chamber. You know what I'm saying? So it's always up in the game. I'll be honest with you. I thought the design of the cage was kind of pretty cool, to be 100% honest with you. I didn't have a problem with it. Like you said, it's got to evolve somehow, some way that makes sense. So why not try something new? Like Uncle Slam said. JD, I know you love AEW, so I'll let you get the last word in on that one.
Yeah, I like the design of the cage. Like Uncle Slam already said, and you guys said, it's something new. And if you don't try something new, you're never going to find what's next. So is it? I don't think it's the finished version. I think it'll evolve over the next couple of years, or however many often they want to do the event. I don't know if it'll just be a Forbidden Door thing. I don't think so, but I like it. A round cage, you still have some floor space. I would reduce the number of participants. That would be my critique of the match. I think 6-on-6 is a lot. And I think you could do 4-on-4 or maybe at most 5-on-5. But I think 6-on-6 is a lot of freaking people.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's all the news stories I got. So I am going to hurry up and get out of the way. Well, the biggest thing I got to talk about real quick is Forbidden Door. And I know Uncle Slam hasn't watched it, but we are working on also getting Uncle Slam being able to watch things like AEW as well. So we will be able to all actually critique AEW events and everything. As always. Oh, so go ahead.
I was just gonna say, remember Mayhem Media, where we shifted to AEW coverage off of WWE, so we'll be doing prediction shows, and we'll be doing like a kind of a talk show, like what you do in between the pay-per-views as well. Me and Wolfman, shout out Wolfman.
Touche. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about the Forbidden Door real quick, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Let Uncle Slam do the results he has, because Forbidden Door may take just a second, and I really don't want to drag this on too much longer. I'd like to, because I know Uncle Slam's tired. It's going to be a big day tomorrow, 4th of July. Everybody's going to be doing stuff. Speaking of which, 4th of July, everybody be safe out there. Be safe, have fun. Don't get into fights over stupid stuff. Let's remember what makes this country actually great is the fact that we all can, we're all, there's only one race that matters. That's the human race. Let's all just love each other and help each other. And if you can, and if you can't, then at least,
stay inside.
Yeah. Don't, if you can't, what's the old saying?
If you can't say anything nice at all,
no.
It's
an old parable. It's about a guy, a hunter, who's getting chased by a bear, and he climbs a persimmon tree. And when he climbs the persimmon tree, he sits there and he says, "Hey Lord, you've done all this stuff for everybody else. So if you can't help me, for goodness sakes, don't help that bear." What I'm saying? So it's like, if you can't help me, don't help my enemies either. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man. If you can't do good, at least don't do no harm. Just let everybody enjoy the day, and remember, man, it's 250 years. Remember what this country's supposed to stand for. Just love each other and have fun. But yes, getting to AEW, New Japan Wrestling, and so many other, what was it, CMLL and Stardom.
Yep.
Forbidden Door 2026, June 28th. We'll start backwards and go with the main event and work our way back. Sorry, I just looked up and seen Alexandra York. A lot of people know her as Marlena. She's walking down with, instead of Ricky Morton, it's Richard Morton, even though he was I never understood that, because even though he was like turning into a rich aristocrat in the York Foundation, he still wore his rock and roll uniform. Didn't make no sense to me, but whatever. Anyways, getting back to Forbidden Door. The main event was Will Ospreay defeating Swerve Strickland. Ospreay won the Men's Owen Hart Cup Championship, earning a future AEW World Championship opportunity. The match was widely considered one of the best of the night, thanks to its pace and dramatic near falls. Uncle Slam, since you don't know much about what's going on with it, since you weren't able to watch, what do you think about that match? Do you know much about Will Ospreay or Swerve Strickland?
Yeah. I've seen him. Of course, I know the name. I know that the whole Death Rider doesn't. I don't training him or whatever. He came out with the whole Bane mask and all that shit too. The whole neck injury. So I know a little. I just haven't got to watch a whole bunch lately and shit, man. I just keep up mostly with highlights and clips and stuff like that.
So how you feel about this match? You think the right person won?
What, between him and Swerve or whatever?
Yeah.
Keep in mind that he earned his title shot for All in London at Wembley.
I'm okay with it and shit. Like I said, I mean, like I said,
I like
mean,
Will Ospreay.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know how I feel about the him and the whole Death Rider thing, but
So
I'll give
let
it
me
a shot.
let me
We'll
ask
see.
you a question, because JD vehemently disagrees with me on this, and I say Swerve Strickland is a wannabe Trick Williams.
Oh my god,
What do you say?
I don't
And
think he's that.
and
So,
I'm not saying Swerve's not good. I'm just saying he's trying to be his character. He's trying to make it too much Trick Williams.
I don't see that.
When did
Uh,
Trick debut?
What
I,
now?
I don't
When
know.
I think it's the other way around there, J-Mac. I think Trick
No,
Williams is trying to be Swerve Strickland in the WWE. That's what I think is happening.
I don't agree with that.
I'm pretty sure Swerve Strickland was Swerve
The Swerve,
Strickland in
he
AEW
he
before
was
Trick
Swerve Strickland,
Williams.
but he wasn't this Swerve Strickland.
He's been an evolving character since he joined AEW. He started with a tag
Right,
team
and he
with,
evolved more into a Trick Williams type guy. And I'm not knocking him.
I disagree. Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't see the connection or the correlation except that of their. I don't want to say this, except their skin color and a little bit of their body size. I don't see the correlation between the two wrestlers. So I don't even see. I don't even
think
see
it's
any
starting to
correlation between the two
separate
wrestlers.
now. I think now that WWE is pushing Trick Williams a little bit more, I think it's starting to separate. But what Trick Williams was in the NXT and how he was like there, he like skyrocketed in NXT. And I think when AEW seen that, they were like, well, let's kind of, and it's no offense, because it's just the same way as, like,
I think
I hate to say it, but WCW basically told Booker T to be their version of The Rock.
that I can see a little bit more than the correlation between Trick Williams.
I think it's the same
Swerve
thing. They just told him,
Strickland.
hey, I need you to be this version of this.
I
That's just my
disagree.
opinion.
Yeah, I disagree. I think he was, if anything, I think it's the other way around. I don't see the correlation that you're mapping. I could map it the other way with Trick Williams following Swerve Strickland. That's what I could see that before what you're proposing, is my opinion.
All right. So for the women's Owen Hart final, we got Mercedes Moné defeating Maya World. Moné captured her second consecutive Owen Hart tournament victory, and the win guarantees her an AEW World Championship match at All In. Uncle Slam, what do you think?
I missed you on that. You cut out now. Like, say it one more time.
Mercedes Moné defeated Maya World, and she's got the AEW Women's World Championship match at All In for winning the Owen Hart tournament.
Yeah, I like
You okay
Sasha
with it?
Banks, Monet, whatever you want to call her and shit. I'm a fan, so I like it. I'm cool.
All right, JD.
Yeah, I think it was a good move for Mercedes Moné to give her the belt after having the 9 belts and then losing them all. She needed something to turn it back around if you wanted her to stay a star. Maya World did a great job in that match. All women wrestlers, stop wearing elaborate costumes to the ring. Wear something efficient, something that's not going to fall apart on you.
Oh yeah, I heard you talk about this on your show about how she spent a lot of the time. She spent a lot of the time trying to hold her own costume or her own stuff on.
She the top of her costume broke, and basically she wrestled in her underwear bra, which the tights that you wear under your tights, and she had to wrestle most of it with. And I can assure you that the regular their bra tights does not hold everything around and keep it from jiggling the way their actual tights do. So she had a lot of issues with her costume, and it affected the match. She did a great job. And had that not happened, that could have been one of the matches of the night. That's how good they did together. But her costume thing was way too much in the way.
All right. So the next match we got is the AEW Women's Championship. Thekla retained over the Starlight Kid. Another showcase for the growing relationship between AEW and Stardom. Uncle Slam, what do you think?
Uh, I'm a big fan of Tekla to start with, so I'm always happy when she wins and shit. I like that. At first, I wasn't too cool about her pulling the mask off. I like that she shoved it in the what's his face, the president of Stardom's face and shit, and knocked him down. I was cool with that.
All right, JD.
Yeah, I'm not a big Thekla fan, but I didn't think that the Starlight Kid, they weren't going to give the championship to one of their wrestlers of Stardom.
I
So
agree.
I didn't see that. I'm not a Thekla fan. I'm ready for her to lose the belt, but I didn't think Starlight Kid was going to win.
All righty, AEW World Tag Team Championship. Cope and Christian retained against, who was it they were doing against?
The Dogs.
Yes, the Dogs. The returning Jay White played a major role during the finish, creating new storylines heading into July. What do you think about Cope and Christian being as old as they are and taking up space in the tag team division, Uncle Slam?
I think you just said it. Being old, taking up space in the tag team division.
Okay.
Uh,
No offense to them. We love them. They were great in their time.
I'm like I said, like if you can go, I mean that's fine, and I guess they can. I'm just never been a huge fan of Edge and Christian, and I've said it before. Other people like him. I was just never one of those people. So I mean, I was happy that Edge got to come back and wrestle, but I don't really care. I mean, just be honest.
He said, I don't really care.
I just don't. I mean,
That's where it is. Edge and Christian are getting their swan song. AEW is doing this for a lot of wrestlers that the WWE is maybe not or doesn't want to let them do their final run the way they want to do it. So he's letting them do their final run. They're going to pick a team. I don't know who it'll be that will likely completely obliterate them and take them out and stuff to win the belts. But I'm happy with them getting their swan song. And I'm not really a fan of the Dogs. So when they do lose the belts, I don't want them to win.
But every wrestler has to understand, just like Paul White said, sometimes you don't get your retirement match.
But sometimes you do.
But sometimes you do. But you don't always have to. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just over, and it's just over.
I think Edge and Christian can still go in the ring based on what I saw at that pay-per-view.
I'm not saying that they can't, but I'm just saying that at this point in time, they shouldn't be carrying the tag team division as tag team champions. They should be.
CK's a fan.
They should be. I get it, but at the end of the day, they should be a team that comes in. They can cause destruction. They can cause mischief. They can make the division interesting. But they're just not going to be the guys that's holding the belts. And I think to me, if I think
those are restrictions that WWE puts on people, and that's what I love about AEW. You're going to see more of that randomness. You're going to see more of Legend winning the belt.
People don't want older wrestlers like that being on top.
That's not what I heard.
Look, I don't have an issue with them having the belt as long as they're using it to help get younger talent over.
Exactly.
I'm all right with it. Like I said, I mean, like if they're going to help, get other people over and make
as transition champions,
they're telling a story. That's what they're doing. They're telling a story. They're telling
I'm okay with that.
Finish story. Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with it as long as it goes that way. Now, like if they stay champ, then like if they're with kind of leading the division, then that's a little bit different, and I'm not really with that as much. But I think that they're a great talent. I think you use them to, get your other talent over, justify them,
make the question is, I think that's what they're doing. They're giving them a legitimate tag title reign, and then one of the teams will eventually knock them off.
Then I'm okay with that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that's going to be.
Yeah, but I don't think you need that title reign to be 3 or 4 months. I think a month and a half, 2 months is cool.
That's
how long has it been? I mean, they just got them like a month ago, maybe.
It's not been. They haven't had that long.
I don't think it was necessarily time for them to lose them right now.
And
but by the next pay-per-view, I wouldn't be. I'd say get somebody else over.
We'll see if the program continues with the dogs, then I could see them knocking Edge and Christian off. If they move on to another tag team, we'll have to see who that other tag team is.
Right, but I'm just saying, I don't want to see a long, drawn out.
I don't want to see them reign for a year or anything.
I don't want to see them reign more than three months tops.
Man, I don't like 3 months of reigns. Yeah, I don't like.
I don't think you need them to do that. You need them to get other people over. So you drop the titles to somebody who's up and coming, and then you go have them feud with another tag team who needs a boost, and you let that tag team overdo them.
At first, you got to make them legitimate champions and not just possessional champions.
They're already legitimate champions before they came into that company.
We're arguing semantics though.
but you don't have to do that. That's the thing. They're already cemented. I just think it's a mistake to keep putting older people at the top of the pack and letting them keep dominating when they don't have to. They should be getting people over. You don't need older people carrying around your belts.
I do partially agree with that. That's why I don't want to see him reign for a long time.
That's why I said 3 months for me. 90 days is plenty for me. And I'm not saying that you can't even put the belts back on them later on for a month or two if need be, but I don't think it needs to be a constant thing. All right, on to the next. We got Moxley defeating Bandito. Moxley continued his dominant championship reign with another violent title defense. I think that describes it all. That's what's just kind of wearing me out on John Moxley, is that it's always a violent title defense. Uncle Slam.
Unfortunately, I think the blood kind of overshadows some of the talent, because I think he's really talented. Unfortunately, I think he gets more attention for it than the actual wrestling on certain shit. I've never been a huge Moxley fan. I think he does better in AEW than he ever did in fucking WWE, because they let him do whatever he wants and shit. The match was all right and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was pretty typical. Like, I didn't think he was gonna lose.
I agree. It was a typical Moxley match.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of Moxley's style anymore.
I like Moxley. I just don't think he needs to bleed every match.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that.
Just like Brock's Boulder said, if it makes sense, do it.
Yeah, exactly.
If it don't make sense, then why are we doing this?
The cage match made sense.
Yeah.
The main event with Osprey and Swerve did not.
Spaghetti in your head doesn't make sense.
Yeah, way too much blood in their match. Way too much.
When you're stabbing your head with spaghetti to stick it into your head, you're an idiot. You just need to stop. It's too much. Let's see. Joe is writing in. He said Moxley bleeds just brushing his teeth. I agree. I 100% agree, man. 100%
that happens when you stick the end of the toothbrush into your forehead.
Yes. All righty. IGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Shota Umanino. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Retained against Pac, which Pac used to be what was his name? Neville in WWE. One of the more physical matches on the card. Uncle Slam, tell us your thoughts.
I don't remember this match, honestly. Because you were naming it, I'm like,
who are these people?
Like, I don't remember that one.
Well, then we will go on over to the bad guy JD.
It was a fine match. It was a fine match. It wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't a bad match either. But it wasn't. There was nothing that made me think, "Oh yeah, I'm going to remember that match tomorrow." No, it was a fine match. That's it.
Character-wise, I'm going to be honest, Pac, Neville, whatever you want to call him, he's always reminded me, and please, everybody, don't come at me and want to drop kick me and everything. He's always reminded me of a modern-day Chris Benoit. And I'm talking about the performer in ring. I ain't talking about anything outside
I
the
can
ring.
see that.
But
that.
and the reasoning is because he has no personality whatsoever friggin' ever. He can't talk on the mic, but
Nope.
he can go like an MFer in the ring.
Yes, he can, but no, he cannot talk on the mic.
He has no friggin' personality. He's
I think he has less
boring.
personality
He's
than
dull.
Benoit.
But possibly,
Because at
but
least
that's my take on Pac.
Benoit was at least that silent but violent guy,
Yeah.
right? At least he kind of had that little catchphrase that he could rely on. That's why he was the quiet guy. Pac is not necessarily the quiet guy. It's just every time you give him the mic, he has nothing good to say.
Right. All right, we got Kenny Omega defeating Zack Sabre Jr. Highly technical wrestling clinic that received rave reviews. Uncle Slam.
I mean, it was a good match. Like I said, I mean, not one of my favorites, but I mean, it was good. Like I said, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Kenny Omega. Like I said, so, but from
Are
what
you
I
a
saw,
fan?
I mean, the match was good.
Are you a fan of Zack Sabre Jr.?
I don't really know who he is, to be honest and stuff. That's the first time I ever
Don't know
saw him.
enough about him.
I've
Like
seen him wrestle 2 matches in AEW now. Both it was a Dynamite match and the match on Forbidden Door. I don't get it. I'm not a Zack Sabre Jr. fan. I don't get it. I don't understand it. To me, he looks like the poor man's Joe Hendry.
All righty. Last match on the card is going to be the Death's Door Steel Cage match. I kind of like that name. Team Briscoe defeated Team MJF. As a result, Mark Briscoe earned an AEW World Championship match, which he did on Dynamite and lost. The Brutal Cage War featured numerous weapons and interference before Team Briscoe finally prevailed. 2 questions. Are you okay with the who won? And what's the point in letting them win this if you're just going to make him lose the damn opportunity the very next, basically the very next Nitro?
Because it's not done yet.
It's just but man, I mean, they just got to keep like that. And this is my critique of AEW is they're doing too many WCW like stories that just don't make any sense. They want to pay them off in a week or two instead of paying it off at All In. Build up till All In. Hold on, before you get started, JD. Uncle Slam, your take.
because hold on, this was a 2-part question. The first part was like what did I think about who won the match?
What did you think about who won the match? And do you think that they're doing too much of the payoff too quick instead of good long build, or at least not even long build, just a month long build?
Well, first, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a good match and stuff. I'm okay with them winning. I don't like that, they took I mean, they gave it to him, and then the next night, they took the opportunity away pretty much, or he lost or whatever. But if it's like JD said, and they're building to more, or they're adding on to the story, that I'm okay with it. We'll have to wait and see, to find out. But it was a hellified match and shit. Like I said, it was a really good match.
Yeah.
Before JD goes, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit, and I'm going to give JD a little bit of grace because I know I give him hell about AEW a lot.
What?
But I'm going to backtrack here for a second and give him a little bit of grace because I remember back in the Attitude Era when people would win on a pay-per-view and the next night they would go on Raw or Nitro and something would happen and their opportunity was taken away or, something, or they would cash in or this, that, or the other, whatever it was that they won, that somehow they would lose the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Look at Kane. Kane won the world title from Stone Cold, and then the very next night on Raw, he lost it back to Stone Cold. That sucks. That was like one of his only 2 world title reigns. But you know how bad it is when I'm sitting here watching an old WCW match. Hey, shout out to Tracy Smothers, who we hear a lot about on here. It's coming out as the Young Pistols with Dustin Rhodes. But no, you know how disturbing it is watching WCW and seeing Brad Armstrong as Bad Street out there trying to dance with Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin, who couldn't dance themselves. But anyways, yeah, I got to backtrack a little bit and say, okay, let me give them a little bit of grace and see what they do with this. Now, if it doesn't pay off to something good, then I'm going to kick them in the ass again.
Well,
But I'm gonna backtrack here for a minute, and I'm gonna give them their grace, and I'm gonna give JD a little leeway and not give him as much shit with this, and then I'm gonna let him give us his thoughts too. So JD, they got. I'm giving them till All In to give me at least a good reason why.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that you see me shifting a lot now because my legs are starting to cramp up on me. So I'm.
Oh, you're good. We're gonna try to get out of here as quick as we can. Uncle Slam's got to run through his real quick, and then we'll go.
Yeah. The thing is, and because what you're saying is, you want the payoff, but you want the payoff you want. It's not necessarily the payoff you're going to get. It's a.
I'm a wrestling fan. I don't want the payoff I want.
No, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just saying, like, the payoff or what you
want the payoff to make sense
is subjective. Is what you want from it might not be what other people want from it. And
I don't care what comes from it as long as it's good and it makes sense
to you. But
no, in general,
in AEW, I enjoy and it makes sense to me because
I don't have to like the payoff.
But you don't like it as much.
I don't have to like the payoff as long as the payoff makes sense. I don't care about if I like the payoff. I want the payoff to make sense.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand what you're saying. In terms of like you're talking about building something over a month or how AEW does this kind of crazy stuff. That's what people who tune into AEW want. They don't want the title being defended once a month, only at pay-per-views after the story's built the whole month.
Oh, I don't either.
Get in the ring with the Briscoes now, like that's what people want to see. They want to see some of that randomness. That's what AEW offers that WWE doesn't. That's what
WWE, real WWE fans, not modern WWE fans, don't want that either. We're old school fans, but we also don't want people just winning titles when it don't make no damn sense either.
Again, but that's what I'm saying.
We want the payoff to make sense.
Did it make sense for Sami Zayn to win?
In general, I don't care if I like the story. There's stories I didn't like at all throughout history. I hated that the Honky Tonk Man won the Intercontinental Championship from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. But did it make sense of why? Yes.
Does it make sense why Sami Zayn won the world title?
Yes. Because it was political. And they've been building
storyline reason.
They've been teasing him being world champion for a long time. Yeah, it was storyline. They've been setting him and Cody up for months. They were doing the Cody and him. Him and Cody were the main event at the SmackDown that we went to.
All I'm saying is that AEW and WWE offer different products. You shouldn't watch one expecting what you get from the other.
Different products has nothing to do with basic wrestling. Basic wrestling is.
And I'm trying to tell you, bro. Hold on, let me finish. What I'm trying to tell you, bro, is that what AEW puts on.
Yeah, I enjoy. I get that. I'm not saying you don't. I didn't say I didn't enjoy it.
You don't like it.
I didn't enjoy it. I said they have a lot. When did I say I don't like it? Didn't enjoy it. I said they don't finish stories with a correct, proper payoff. Didn't say WWE does either.
I would say that, yeah, no, but I would say that's.
I'm not defending WWE to the death the way you're defending AEW to the death.
I'm not defending them to the death. I'm trying to say they're different products.
I understand that.
So I don't.
So is TNA, but TNA is not doing anything good either.
I have not watched TNA, so I cannot.
Ring of Honor is a different product. It's not their stories aren't doing anything either. If they
Ring of Honor, Ring of
would be
Honor is
taking.
basically AEW light at the moment. I mean, that's the only place you see
I
Ring of
mean,
Honor
I
now is
agree.
on AEW shows,
Well,
unless
it's
they're
because
doing a
Tony Khan
pay-per-view.
bought it.
What? Yeah. He hasn't done
Yeah.
the right things with it. That's something that
No,
I think we could
and
probably
that's
agree on.
again. There's
He
that.
bought
That's
Ring of
it.
Honor
The
and has
payoff
not
makes
done the
no
right.
sense.
Yeah, he has not done the right things to try and make it a legitimate company, or even treat it really as AEW's farm program at this point. I don't know what he's doing with Ring of Honor. That's a whole nother conversation. But in
Right.
terms of him, like them putting him against him, I don't know where the story's going, but I don't have a problem with it either. I'm an MJF fan, and
I
he
love
just won it
MJF.
back to Darby, and I don't want to see him again lose it to Jay Briscoe because I don't like seeing the world title play hot potato.
I don't either.
So
But I
wasn't
also
ready
don't want
for-
the title changing or not changing when it doesn't make sense. I don't care if I like what's going on. I just want it to make sense in the
Yeah, and I don't know
overall
that
scheme of things.
And I don't know that Briscoe will actually be the AEW champion. I just don't believe that the story between MJF and Briscoe are done yet. That doesn't seem to be the end to me.
I see what you're saying. Well,
I
we'll
think
give it. Like I said,
think
I'll
it'll
give it
go
a month, and
well.
we'll revisit
That's-
this in a month.
I'd also
and
like to
see
say
where
that
it's went.
AEW does a lot of things with multiple storylines going on, because you got to figure MJF is also now going to be facing Will Ospreay in August.
Right,
for the
and
world
that's what I'm
title. So
saying.
now-
It's all,
now
that's
you have
almost overload.
No, it's not overload. It's called multi-layered storytelling. Okay, now you have MJF in this
No,
program
that's
with
not
Briscoe,
multi-layered storytelling.
and then he's got
That's
the title match.
overbooking.
I disagree. Again, subjective. I disagree. And
That's
there are
not
tens of
subjective.
thousands of AEW. Yes, it is. There are tens of thousands of AEW fans that like the product and like what they're doing.
That has nothing
Just
to do
because
with
you
liking the
don't,
product.
That
That
doesn't
has
mean
nothing
anything.
to do with you're mistaking liking the product with smart booking. That
I
has
think if
nothing to
people
do
are
with
happy
it.
and you're making money, then that's the
They're
goal.
not
of the
making
business.
money. They're losing money constantly.
AEW?
On a constant basis, their money is going down.
That's not what I see. That's not
That's
what I. When I look it up,
that's
that's not the information that I'm getting.
I will get you the information.
So I'm saying,
I'm not.
fans
I'm not
are saying, and I'm not trying to
disparaging.
like you.
I
like
want
to pretend that
AEW
I'm
to
like you back me
succeed.
into a corner with AEW, but it's just because what I'm saying is what you're saying is subjective.
I'm not arguing that.
It's what
subjective.
what other
When I say that independent wrestling is better than any other wrestling.
that is still a subjective term.
I didn't say that. Right. I just said that. I just said it's a subjective term. It's all subjective except for the basics of what wrestling is and is supposed to be. And wrestling is supposed to be storylines that make sense and have a correct payoff that makes sense, not random stuff for no reason.
I think,
and I'm not saying that it's just AEW. You take it that I'm saying it's just AEW that's doing that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that AEW does it, but they do it just about as bad as anybody. And it's nothing against it, but it's Tony Khan, a business boy who has never done anything in the wrestling business, trying to be a fanboy and run a company. I would never take my money and back a wrestling company and put myself as the head booker.
Hey, gentlemen, I hate to cut you off. This is running a little bit long.
It
we
is.
need to zero back in because it's almost like 1 o'clock.
It is. That's bad. I apologize.
I need to go ahead. Yeah, I need to go ahead and run through mine real quick, and then so we can wrap this up. Like, I hate to cut you off, but this is supposed to be a short episode, and it's going.
It was.
It was.
So I'm going to.
I promise you guys, next week we're going to shoot for a shorter episode.
All right, I'm going to go over my results real quick. We ain't going to have no debate. There ain't really no much discussion. I'm just going to let you know it's going to be informative, not discussion. So only because it's late. Now, any other time,
Slam, do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, Slam had to reel it in for us.
Yeah, okay. The Great American Bash results, we're going to go run this through. Kendall Gray defeated, hold on, let me get back in order. but I'm talking shit. NXT. Let's do this real quick. Let's see. Tony D'Angelo versus um. I'm gonna mess this name up. Nakata for the NXT Championship. Then we had Tatum Paxson versus Zarya for the Women's North American Championship. Zarya won that. We had Shiloh Hill versus Tristan Angel, which we had Shiloh Hill win that by pinfall. Then we had the Speed Championship with Lynn Sinclair versus Andrea Grace from Birthright, with the Lynn Sinclair winning that. Then we had Dion Lennox versus Saquon Sugar, which Sugar winning the match. Next, we had Miles Bourne versus Travis Heights for the North American Championship, which resulted in what was that?
Go ahead. I
What
didn't
was
realize.
that? What? I don't. What the fuck? Oh God, y'all killing me. Okay,
I was
we
trying
had
to make production a little bit better, and well, that was courtesy of JD. So thank you, JD, just to let everybody know. Yeah.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to help.
let's see.
So
Well,
what the hell
he
was
just,
that?
it was like he was trying to shut me down real quick. Like, oh, let me turn this on real quick. Your time is up.
I didn't realize it was going to be loud like that.
I did not add the sound. You added the sound, I think, didn't you? Or
No,
did
I didn't. That's the way it came to me. But
Oh,
anyways,
shit.
go
I
ahead,
think-
Uncle Slam.
All right,
Sorry.
Bourne
Sound
defeats
in it.
Heights
Cool.
by pinfall to retain the North American Championship. And then we had Lola Vice versus Kendall Gray, with Kendall Gray winning her first championship, defeating Lola Vice. Let's see. For June 26th, SmackDown, we had B-Fab and Michonne defeat Alexis Bliss and Tiffany Stratton. With interference from Jay Cargill, Triple A Championship, we had Rey Mysterio defeat Nathan Frazier versus pinfall. Then we had Paige defeat JCJ to secure pinfall by Schoolboy pin. Next, we had Dan Housing and Matt Cardona teaming up to go against Los Garcias, won by pinfall. Next, we had Jay Cargill beating Chelsea Green. We had Julia versus Kiana James, with Julia winning by pinfall. Let's see. Next, let's go to SmackDown results. Not SmackDown, but Raw. So that's this one. Let's do. Well, don't look like I have any Raw. Hold on. Let me find it. One
Well, even
second.
if you don't, people got Google. It's
I
been,
know. That's what I was saying. I'm
you
like,
give us what you got, and we're 2 hours and 12 minutes in.
I know.
You probably shouldn't have me on when you want these to last an hour.
I know it.
I just want to let y'all talk about AEW and then y'all
No
be fine.
AEW talk between me and JD anymore.
All right, we had Jimmy Uso defeat LA Knight. Chad Gable beat JD Madonna.
You said Jimmy, not mid card Jey Uso, right?
Jimmy, yes.
Right.
But
Okay,
Jay was there to help for interference.
Oh,
Joe Henry,
mid card was there.
yeah. Joe Henry defeated Austin Theory by pinfall. Rey Mysterio, if I can talk, defeated Ethan Page by pinfall, and Raquel Rodriguez defeated Maxine Dupree, and that is the wrap.
All righty. JD, before we get out of here, plug some stuff.
Check out Mayhem Media on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Our Marvel series returns next week, next Saturday night. Hopefully, I can get these two to be on there.
I'll be there.
And
I'll be there.
Sundays, we're doing After the Dragon, following House of the Dragon with J Mac's son, Theorist. So check
Check
that
out
out.
Theorist. Yes,
we'll
sir.
be
I got to
on
catch
Sunday.
up on that, man. I watched the first episode, but I need to catch up on the next couple.
Well, see, there you go. You got you another person if you did it later on in the night when Uncle Slam gets up. No, I'm just joking.
I'm gonna try.
I'm over here committing Uncle Slam to shows and shit.
I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get the second half of the season on later on Saturdays. My Saturday schedule has opened up a little bit more now, so I think I can do it closer to the show.
Right.
I got to talk to the fam anyway. They hate that I'm doing all these podcasts.
They hate podcasting.
We can't do nothing to Dad in podcast.
Yeah, well, once the money starts rolling in, they'll be singing a different tune.
Hey, exactly.
That's it. That's exactly it. But no, you got anything else you want to plug there, JD?
Check out the storefront, bonfire.com/store/mayhem media shop, and pick up a shirt. And then if you guys buy enough shirts, then I'll be able to afford to buy another one, and then I won't have to go shirtless on Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc.
Touche. Buy a shirt. Now, yeah, and honestly and truthfully, speaking of shirts, me and Uncle Sam's going to have some shirts up for sale too. So not only can you buy them, will you be able to buy them at the events, you will also be able to get a hold of us and buy one, and we will mail it to you, whatever we got to do. And we will figure it out because, yeah, we love y'all. We love the support and everything. Also, just to let you all know, we have rebranded our every week, whatever recap show. We are now calling it the Havoc Zone. So make sure you tune in. This was the first episode of the Havoc Zone. I think we had up to about 9 people, so we appreciate everybody that tuned in.
It's an honor to be on the first one.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for being here. And everybody else, go out there, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, follow, share, all the things and everything. And we appreciate all the support, appreciate all the love. Uncle Slam, you got anything else for these good people?
No, sir. I'm definitely tapped out tonight.
Yes, sir. Well, actually, it's today. And by the way, guys, happy 4th of July, since we've made it to 4th of July.
Happy Fireworks Day.
Yes, boom, boom, booms, and too sweet and all that. So referees hit that 3 count. We're going to ring that damn bell.